Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Cherry Anchikalosa. I'm 20 years old, and I live in Babasit, Manawag, Pangasinan. And I'm currently taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in science.
Hi, my name is Mary J. Bautista, 20 years of age, from San Juan, San Jacinto, Pangasinan, currently taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Mathematics.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruby Mondia Magno, 20 years of age, from Parian, Manawag, Pangasinan. I am currently taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science.
Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin Diogo. I am 21 years old and I live at Sapang, Manawag, Pangasinan. And I am currently taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science.
Alright, so before we start our lesson or our discussion, let's have a dance first, which is entitled of Hello Dance.
Hello everybody, how are you today? It's time to move your body and learn and play. Hello to my teacher, how are you today? I'm going to listen to what you say. Hello to my friends, how are you today? I hope that all of you are fine today. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Hello everybody, how are you today? It's time to move your body and learn and play. Hello to my teacher, how are you today? I'm going to listen to what you say. Hello to my friends, how are you today? I hope that all of you are fine today.
Okay, so our topic or lesson for today is all about media literacy. So let's discuss what is media literacy. Okay. So let's start with the few interesting facts wherein 47% of children ages 6 to 17 have a TV in their own bedroom. So as you can see, 47% is a big percentage of children wherein they're watching TV, no? And then this particularly children ages range to 6 to 17. Okay, particularly they are using the TV in their bedrooms. Okay, so the second one is the average American watches over 4 hours of televisions per day. So as you can see, the time consuming of an American in watching television is also huge. Wherein they are consuming 4 hours. No? That is the facts. No? Wherein the next one is we have the average American sees 2 million TV commercials by the age of 65. Okay, so as you can see, 2 million commercials. Imagine, that's a lot of commercials. And at the age of 65, you will attain that different commercials. No? So that is one of the facts. Okay, next one is okay, so next one is by the age of 18, children have watched 17,000 hours, okay, of television, and this number continues to increase. Okay, so imagine, at the age of 18, you are already, or the children already watching 17,000 hours, and that is really amazing. Wherein that particular time consuming is too large. Okay, so next one is, and then in addition, it will continue. No, it's because you are all, the children is already in 18, last 18 pa lang siya, and kaya pa yung mag-expand, no? And then next one is we have the average American youth spends 900 hours in school. Okay, so here, as you can see, 900 hours is spent in television in the America schools. Okay, so as you can see, they are using televisions in their schools. Okay, we're in 1,022 hours watching TV each year. Okay, so that is their time consuming within 1 year. Okay, so next slide is we have, okay, the average home has the television on for 7.5 hours per day. Okay, so this means that the television is on nearly 60 hours per day. Okay, so as you can see, 60 hours per day is the consuming time of watching TV. Okay, so that is that. And then in at home, 7.5 hours per day. Yan. So as you can see dito, ito yung mga time wherein we consume using television. Okay, so next one is we have, okay, the average child sees 13,000 violent deaths on TV during his or her formative years and as many as 200,000 by their 18th birthday. So as you can see, there's a lot of violent deaths on TV wherein particularly the number is 13,000. So imagine, it is a big number wherein you can watch on television. That particular number is very huge. So that the influence of television to us is, or the impact of television to us is always there within. It is a part of our life. Okay. So next one is during his or her formative years. Okay, so after that, 13,000 the child. While if the child reach 18th birthday, there are 200,000, 200,000 number of violent deaths. Okay, that you will witness in watching television. Okay, so next one is we have. Okay, let's move on in what is media. So as you can see in the picture, this is an example of media. Okay, wherein we have number 1, television. Number 2, newspaper, radio. Yan. And then laptops, yan, cell phones. Yan, and then yung player music. Yan. So next one. So as you can see, that is, always remember that this is a example of media. Okay, so next slide is we have what those all have in common. Okay, so they entertain us with stories, music, and all manners of art. Okay, particularly those kind of media or those example of media. Okay, they entertain us with stories. As you can see, say for example, we are watching movies in our television wherein there are some entertainments and of course the story is there. Okay, so music and all manners. Okay, so in music, of course, when we are watching movies, there is always a music, there's a sound. Okay, also for example, kanina, nakita natin yung music player wherein pwede tayo makinig sa music. Okay, and then dito, all manners. Okay, all manners of arts is because the television show pictures, okay? Pictures, text, something like that. Okay, so next one is we have also, they inform us about our world. Okay, why? It's because one of the example of media is newspaper and television. And in newspaper, they print different informations about our world. And television gives us information about everything happens, through news. Okay, news channels. Okay, so next one is we have, they allow us to communicate with one another. Okay, so they allow us to communicate with one another, and one of example of media is a cell phone, right? So cell phone is used to communicate with one another, okay? Even though the distance is too far, we can do messaging to each other, we can do calling to each other, okay? So that is one of the media examples, okay, na nagagawa ng media. Okay, so they allow us to store, process, and analyze data. So as you can see, we have computers, okay. We store different kinds of documents, different kinds of features, so that it's said there that store, diba? And then we can process that, and eventually we analyze those data that we are saving for. Okay, so next one is we have media. Okay, so let us talk about more deeper about media. Okay, media. The term media, which is the plural of medium, okay, refers to the communication channels through which we disseminate news, music, movies, education, promotional messages, and other data. So as you can see, media can, yan, different, no? Napakarami niyang use. Okay, so media is a form of communication. Always remember. Okay, next slide is we have. Okay, so what is a media literacy? Okay, using tools and technology resources well. Yan. Okay, teamwork and problem solving. Yan. Critical analysis, reflection, and ethics. Creativity and expression. Okay. So dito, in media literacy, we use this as tools, no? So, resources, of course, nandiyan na yung different sources of information. And then, teamwork or problem solving. Okay, we are using different applications to solve this particular problem. Critical analysis, reflections, and ethics. While using the media, okay, media literacy, no? Say for example, we are using the Facebook app, which is used in cell phone, and that is one example of media, right? So when we are using Facebook, we are always looking for our news feeds, okay? Wherein there is a lot of information. But the information there should analyze, no? Should critique by you, no? Don't just read it and adapt it. Read it and analyze it, okay? For you to avoid fake news, okay? So next one is we have creativity and expression. Wherein, in creativity, we will going to promote or we will going to do certain media composition of a certain topics wherein you can make your video presentation with your creativity, yan, papasok yan, and yung expression mo, kung paano mo siya gagawin, right? So, what I'm trying to say here is, you are composing your own media literacy, okay, with the use of your creativity and expression. Definition of media literacy. Okay, so media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media. So ito na, no? The ability of literacy is to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media. Wherein, napakarami niyang benefits for us. Okay, so next is very understandable. Naintindihan natin yan. So next is media literate youth and adults are better able to understand the complex messages we receive from television, radio, internet, newspapers, magazines, books, billboards, video games, music, and all other forms of media. Okay, so in media literacy, the function of media literacy is to give better understanding, no, about we see or we watch in media. Okay, so yun yun. Ine-educate tayo ng media literacy para mas madali natin maintindihan kung ano nga ba yung pinapanood natin and patungkol nga ba saan yung pinapanood natin. Okay, so next one is the three components of media literacy. Okay, so the first one is we have personal locus, which is personal locus is your interest involving in media literacy. Wherein, yun nga, syempre, when you're watching different kinds of media or when you're reading different kinds of media literacy, di ba? In some matters, kapag napanood mo siya and then at the start of the particular video is hindi mo nagustuhan, di ba? Hindi mo naman papatapusin yung video. It's because hindi mo nga gusto. You lost your interest. So, personal locus is trying to say yung interest mo in involving that particular media literacy. Okay, so number 2 is we have the knowledge structure. Okay, nandun na tayo sa interest. Okay, you have interest in a certain or particular media literacy, and of course, after a while finishing that one, you will obtain knowledge structure. Okay, or the knowledge itself. Kung ano nga ba yung gusto mong parating para sa'yo. And then, you will analyze it, no? Kung natuto ka ba, but what knowledge structures trying to say is yung knowledge na makukuha mo through using media literacy or attaining media literacy. Okay, so the third one is we have the skills. Of course, here in media literacy, the skills is being developed. Wherein yung skills is ma-unlock is because of media literacy. Kasi nga, media literacy is for better understanding of the different kinds of media. Okay, so here in media literacy, to enable to unlock these skills, we are composing different kinds of media. Say, for example, video presentation, something like that. So that is the three key components of media literacy. Okay, so for the next reporter, we have Juby Monjamagno for more discussion about media literacy. Okay.
Okay, so let's now continue our discussion. Next slide, please. Okay, so media literacy is a life skill because media is a part of the cultural environment. So why media is being a part of our cultural environment? Kasi nga, di ba, just like what Mr. Benjamin discussed a while ago, this media or the different forms of media, including television, is a part of this media. Wherein, di ba, na-discuss na kanina na yung television is it has a big impact or kaakibat na yun ng buhay ng tao noon hanggang ngayon. So, and as such, it affects healthy development because this different forms of media, di ba nga, nasa 21st century na tayo ngayon, so these different forms of media is na-innovate siya or na-modify siya or nagkakaroon ng development na nagagamit natin in this modern generation. Okay, so first one is self-awareness and acceptance. Okay, so media is, or media literacy meaning is we are literate enough with regards to these different forms of media. So that self-awareness and acceptance, because na different forms of media, just like a television wherein it flashes different news, or another example of forms of media is the magazines or the newspapers, wherein it gives us an awareness of what is happening or what is happening around us. So through these different forms of media it gives us a self-awareness of the different events that happens surround us. And next is growth and development. So from this self-awareness, okay, so we are aware of what is the different events that happen around us. We are having this growth and development, wherein those that occurs is we are gaining those, or we are gaining some moral lesson or values or knowledge that will help us to grow and to develop. And next is we have the body knowledge and care. Okay, so being aware, of course, we are gaining knowledge, and then through this knowledge it is giving us it is giving us enough understanding of what is a good and bad, especially to us and for our neighbors or for the other people. Okay, so next is personal and social relationship, because just like what Mr. Benjamin again discussed a while ago, is this different forms of the media is one of the means of for our communication. Okay, so through this media is we can communicate with other people even they are far away from us. Okay, and of course social relationships. So through communication we are building our social relationship with other people. Okay, so next is strategies for healthy living. So of course through being a media literate is we are, or it has an impact to us, especially to we have a healthy living, because through this is we are gaining knowledge through what we see on the television, what we read on the newspapers, magazine, and particularly also this internet, wherein it is very helpful, especially to us, the students, that we can use as a tool for us to broaden our knowledge. Okay, so next slide is we have, okay, so media literacy is a life skill. First one is the nutrition. Okay, so specifically this television, which is a part of this different forms of media, is giving us a knowledge about this nutrition, because just like for instance is the food commercial, wherein in that commercial is they are saying or telling us what is the content of that product for us to become knowledgeable about that product. And when it comes that we purchase that product, is we know, or we already have a knowledge about those products that we can consume or we are getting to buy. Okay, so next is we have, okay, so next is substance abuse. So specifically, di ba, yung commercial natin, for instance, is first in the television, wherein a commercial of a liquors. So alam ko naman, or I already know that familiar na tayo dito, di ba? Pagkatapos ng commercial na, or at the end of that commercial, is it stated or it pointed out that we should drink responsibly. And of course, those advertisement or commercial also is we can see them on the different forms of media, just like social media, wherein on the Facebook, as you notice, is before the start of a videos, or on the middle or in the end of that videos, is they include those advertisement and commercial, as well as in YouTube. Okay, so this they are putting those advertisement and commercial for us also to be aware. Next is we have the stereotypes. So stereotypes means is we are judging about a certain things or even people, just like that we are judging without knowing the real or the truth. Okay, so there's a saying that don't judge a book by its cover. So it is really important for us to not judging a particular thing or especially people or person without knowing them. Okay, so next one is we have the sexuality. Okay, so as we notice on the television, before a dramas or a series is being shown to us, there is a parental guidance that show, okay, or that is showing, because this is through this parental guidance is it enable us to be aware of that particular dramas or series that we will watch on the television. Okay, so that diba meron tayong rated G, rated PG, and rated SPG. So by that is it enable us to be aware on what we are going to watch. Okay, so next is we have the aggression. Okay, because particularly on the social media, especially ngayon is diba people are very active when it comes to an issue wherein, di ba, pag nagkaroon ng issue kasi is, andyan na, magsisilabasan na yung mga tao na magja-judge sa isang, or sa nakikita nila with this social media. And sometimes, di ba, yung mga sinasabi ng ibang tao is below the belt na gano'n. So, it can also be part of this aggression wherein, di ba, parang, just like for example, is ikaw, nadamay ka with that issue. So, parang andun na yung aggression mo or magagalit ka na kasi bakit ka nadamay in that particular issue. Okay, so next is we have the online social responsibility. So, online social responsibility, which means that through this media, wherein it enables us to be literate enough, okay, so we should be responsible with this. For example, is in the social media, in the Facebook. So, there is, or marami tayo doong mga nababasa ng mga statement, ganyan, as well as kung nagpo-post tayo, di ba, we should be responsible on what we are going to post. So, there is a saying that we always remember that think before you click. Okay, so next slide is we have the media literacy is an expanded conceptualization of literacy. So first one is we have the speaking and listening. So for instance is you watch a video, okay, just like for example on YouTube or on Facebook is for instance on that particular video, okay, so when that person is speaking and its pronunciation is very good or it catch your attention, of course, it will also catch your attention to listen. So by this media, okay, so the speaking and listening skills also were being developed. And next one is we have the reading to writing. Okay, so reading is just like for instance is you will read or you have read a statement wherein you read that statement and after you read that statement is if it catches or it catch your attention about that statement is you are going to write. Okay, so write in the sense that if you notice that those statement that you will read is have its moral lesson or values is of course it will attend you or lead you rather to write also. Okay, so through this media, of course, is it also develop our reading and writing skills. Okay, so next is critical viewing to media composition. So of course, when we view or when we watch, of course, it is very important that we should have this critical skills for us to evaluate that statement, and also it leads us to media composition. Just like for instance, you watch an educational video. Okay, so through that video, you will use your critical skills, and then after watching that video, okay, so it also gives you a skills to compose, or it will catch your attention to compose your compose your own. Okay, so next is we have the integrating media literacy across the curriculum. Okay, so first one is we have teaching with media and technology. So of course, just like what I've said a while ago, that we are in the 21st century, wherein those media literacy or this media and technology is integrated in the curriculum, which is a means of an instructional materials. So it is used as instructional materials for the teachers to students for teaching. Okay, so next is we have making connections with out of school literacies. So of course, through this media is just like what I've said, is it also enable us to connect out of our school. So before when we go to school, and when we study is after the class session, we go home, and then it limits our knowledge. So what we've learned in the classroom will just remain. Unlike now that there is a different forms of this media, wherein the students will enable them to broaden their knowledge, because there is different forms of media, just like internet, particularly using Google, wherein the students will use it as a tool to broaden their knowledge and break that limit about expanding their knowledge. Okay, so next is developing information access and research skills. So of course, when we search, or just like for instance, we search on the internet, and then okay, so we read that statement. Okay, just like for example, we are having our assignment, and then we search. And then the one that we search, or the statement that we search, is we're not satisfied. Of course, we're doing so many research pa until masatisfied tayo dun sa nire-research natin. Okay, so number 4, we have the strengthening message analysis skills. So of course, what we read should be analyzed by us. So dapat hindi lang tayo basta-basta nagbabasa. Kasi nga, di ba, just like what Sir discussed, is reading without comprehension is nothing. Okay, so kailangan yung mga nababasa natin is gagamitan natin ng ating analytical skills for us to avoid those not reliable sources or invalid sources, particularly fake news. Kasi nga alam naman natin na through this media is nagkalat na din yung mga fake news. So we should use our analytical skills to avoid those fake news. Okay, so next is composing messages using multimedia. So just like what I've said a while ago, media is also means for communication. Okay, so through this media is it will lead us to compose messages, okay, using phones, using computers or laptops to share our knowledge, our ideas, of course, and of course, communicating with our loved ones is we use this media. Next is we have exploring media issues in society. So, the different forms of media, wherein we have there the television, internet, social media, wherein Facebook. Okay, so through that, they are showing the different events that happens surrounds our society. So through that, it enables us to be informed or to be aware of what is happening surround us. Okay, so next is we have number 7, sharing ideas and taking action. Okay, so especially now, we should share our ideas, particularly with this pandemic, wherein we use different social media platforms, just like on the Facebook, wherein we shared posts about this pandemic. Just like, for example, in your municipality, there's a lot of COVID positive. So you will share that ideas on these different social media platforms. Example is the Facebook, so that your friends or your relatives will also be aware. And through that is you also taking an action or you indicating that they should be stay on their house or in their homes for them to not sacrifice or not be affected with this pandemic. Okay, so next is we have media literacy basics. Okay, so we have here the 5 core concepts and we have there the 5 key questions. Okay, so number 1, all media messages are constructed. Okay, so who created these messages? Of course, we people created or constructed those messages with this media. Okay, so number 2, media messages are constructed using a creative language with its own rules. Okay, so what creative techniques are used to attract my attention? Just like, for example, on a commercial or on a advertisement wherein people is using this creative techniques, especially creative language for us to catch our attention or for us to be persuaded. So through that, for example, is they are using their creative language or creative techniques in promoting that products, and then using that techniques is it persuades us to buy that product. Okay, so next is different people experience the same media message differently. So of course, we people have different perspective in life or different opinions, so that we people also experiencing those messages or media messages differently. Okay, so how might different people understand this message differently? So, gaya na nasabi ko, is we have our own perspective. So, iba-iba naman tayo ng opinion in such things. Okay? So that we are or we experiencing of having the same media messages, but we also experience these media messages or we understand those media messages differently or different. Okay, so number 4, media have embedded values and points of view. So of course, those media also have our embedded values and points of view. So those media is indicating also a moral lesson, our values for us to be knowledgeable. Okay, so what values, lifestyle, and points of view are represented in or omitted from this message? So of course, those values are lifestyle that we review or we see or we watch is we are adopting it and applying it into our life. Okay, but always remember that what we adopt is or should always be a value or not be a fake. Okay, so gaya na ng nasabi ko, di ba? Ang dami ng fake or fake news na nakapaligid because of this media. So we should be always aware of what we are adopting for. Okay, so next is most media messages are organized to gain profit and or power. So, example of this is, gaya ng palagi kong na example, is yung advertisement, wherein those people that are creating those advertisements are paid off. Okay, so binabayaran sila, and then through that is they gain their profit, and also it is used as their power to persuade people to purchase those products that they are promoting. Okay, so why is this message being sent? So of course, to catch your attention, to persuade you, to give you an information and knowledge with that particular things. Okay, so for the next reporter, we have Cherry Ann Calosa.
So now, let's proceed to our next discussion, which is, it is all about the importance of media literacy. So now, let's proceed to the importance of media literacy in our life. So first,
Okay? Media literacy can help us youth and adult to, first, develop critical thinking skills. Wherein, if we are media literate, we can distinguish those information that are truth and fake one. Because if we are media literate, we can be able to analyze, evaluate, and critique those information that we need to gather and that we need to critique. At the same time, those information that we are about to gain is beneficial to us. At the same time, it for our safety purposes. Kasi nga, di ba, nowadays, naglipanan na yung mga fake news. That is why we need to become media literate when it comes in adapting or gaining those information that comes in the media platforms. Okay, next. Next is understand how media messages shape our culture and society. Because nowadays, kagaya ng mga sinabi ng mga past reporters, that we are now in the 21st century. We are now in the 21st century that we are now surrounded by technology. We have a lot of technology nowadays that are helping us on our daily lives. Kasi nga, those technology, those media platforms, it can impact us. It's either bad or it's either good. Kasi nga po, hindi naman lahat ng nasa social media or other media platforms that are true. That is why we need to become media literate so that we can distinguish, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, we can easily distinguish those information that are valid and reliable to us. At the same time, syempre, those media messages kasi is, kagaya na sabi ko, i-shape our culture or i-shape our way of living. Kasi nga, di ba, ang dami ng mga information na nandyan, na nagkalat sa social media, o hindi lang sa social media, and other media platforms that we are now, that we are interacting or nagkakaroon tayo ng connection or ginagamit natin in our daily life. Okay, and another thing is, most of people kasi ngayon is marami na sila, most of the people in our country or in the world is they have already a social media account or they have already a media platform that they are using in their daily life. So, syempre, bakit nila yung ginagamit? Syempre, para makakalat sila for information, for collecting information, for improving lifestyle, improving our way of living. So next, another important of media literacy is identify target marketing strategies. So this is most applicable to those businessmen and businesswomen in our country or in other country also. Kasi nga po, they are using media platforms for their advertisement or for promoting their product to their audiences or to the people around them. And at the same time kasi, through this media kasi is marami na silang nagagamit na strategies that they will use is as an strategies to promote and then to expand their connection at the same time para makahikayat sila ng mga sellers nila. And this is most applicable nowadays that we have now experiencing ang pandemic na hindi na katulad ng dati na yung mga businesses is nasa face-to-face, is pupunta ka doon para makabili. Now kasi they are using social media platform for their businesses. That is why hindi na natin kailangang lumabas para bumili lang ng mga goods and products na kailangan natin. Just click it and just one click, pwede na natin makuha yung product na gusto natin. Next is, okay, we of course, if we are media literate, we can now recognize what the media maker want us to believe or do. Kasi nga po, syempre, media literate na tayo eh. So, we are now knowledgeable enough to understand what the media maker want us to do and to believe. But somehow kasi, is hindi naman lahat kasi na nakikita natin sa media is totoo. Kaya ulit-ulit natin sinasabi na those information that are that are present in the media is kailangan muna natin i-evaluate. Kailangan natin ng critical thinking skills before we will going to adapt, before we will going to accept it. At the same time, gaya na nagsabi, is we need to become, what we call this? We need to become, hindi lang yung basa lang tayo ng basa and accept lang ng accept. We need to read it with comprehension. At the same time, understanding because kasi, di ba, kapag adapt kasi tayo ng adapt, hindi na natin napapansin na those information are not valid. At the same time, hindi siya reliable. Or worse, syempre, those information kasi, minsan kasi, natitake natin as a negatively. So, that is why nakakasama rin sa atin. Next is, recognize bias, spin, misinformation, and lies. So, of course, if we are media literate, we can easily know kung ano nga ba yung pinupoint ng isang tao, kung ano nga ba yung point of view ng ibang tao. Kasi after all, we have different perception na pinaniniwalaan natin. So, kailangan nating alamin muna yung buong story before we will going to take aside. Or pwede naman na hindi ka naman na mamimili. However, you will going in their middle. Okay? And then another thing is misinformation and lies. Of course, sabi ko nga, if you are media literate, you can now distinguish what is the right information to the wrong one. Kasi nga po, di ba? Ayun na nga, ginamitan mo na siya ng critical thinking skills, na-evaluate mo na, na-analyze mo na, and nalaman mo na kung ano ba yung totoong istorya, totoong nangyari in that particular situation. Next is discover the parts of the story that are not being told. So, kagaya nga nasabi, di ba? If you are media literate, hindi ka lang makokontento sa iisang information. Hindi ka lang makokontento in one certain topic na nalaman mo lang na, ay, ganito pala. Bakit naging gano'n? Siyempre, we have a lot of question in our mind that we need to answer. That is why we need to search deeper about that certain situation para malaman natin yung totoo. Hindi lang tayo magbe-base lang kung ano yung nabasa lang natin na iisa. Hindi lang tayo mag-take sa isang side lang. But we will now going to know the whole story behind it. Kaya nga sabi ka, that are not being told in the story. So, we will now if you are now a media literate, syempre, aalamin mo lahat. Aalamin mo kung ano nga ba yung mga nangyayari. Kung ano nga ba yung totoong nangyari. Okay? So, that is another importance of media literacy. Next, we have here the evaluate media messages based on our own experiences, skills, belief, and values. So here, syempre, if we are now a media literate, we can now evaluate things, okay, according to our own experiences. Kasi nga, if we already experience one things in that media platform, of course, we can now already know what is the implication of this in our life. At the same time, those kasi, di ba, our own experiences. So, proven and tested na siya kasi na-experience na natin, tayo na mismo, hindi lang yung nakita lang natin, hindi lang yung mga nababasa lang natin in other media. Okay. Now, this Okay, those, di ba nakaka-evaluate na tayo ng media messages. At the same time, our skills will be enhanced, developed to the point na, syempre, malalaman na natin kung ano nga ba yung mga bagay-bagay that can help us in our life. Of course, belief and values is always present in media. Okay, next. Create and distribute our own media messages. Kasi nga, one of the key concept of media literacy is all media messages are constructed, wherein tayo po yung gumagawa. We are the one who are constructing those messages that we are going to post it in other social media platforms, or syempre yung mga nakikita nyo sa television, yung mga napapakinggan nyo sa radyo, those in the newspaper, and other media platform that we are using, that we are saying, that we are, yung mga nakikita natin are constructed by us. Tao po ang gumagawa nun. Okay? Next, at the same time kasi, we are creating, at the same time distributing. So, kasi nga, di ba, we are not just creating those information. However, we are sharing it to other people also para for them to become aware. Hindi lang tayo. Gaya ng sabi kanina na meron tayong na-discuss, which is particularly ni Juby, na kailangan ng self-awareness. At the same time, hindi lang sarili natin ang isipin natin. However, we need to think also for the other. We need to think also other people, not only to ourselves. After all, no one is an island. We need each other. That is why we need each other. Siyempre, kailangan natin ng isa't isa. So, kailangan natin magtulungan. Okay. Next is advocate for media justice. So, one importance of media literacy is advocate for media justice. Wherein, syempre, dyan na pumapasok yung kailangan natin na, syempre, we are not media literate. So that is why, kailangan natin pag-isipang mabuti those information that we will going to post. At the same time, syempre, ang tawag na dito is, we are all have a freedom to post or to say all the things na kinakailangan natin sabihin or i-voice out. However, we need to become aware, we need to become sensitive enough to share those information na kinakailangan na i-disseminate natin in the social media or in other media platform. Kasi nga po, hindi lang kasi tayo yung nakakakita, hindi lang tayo nakakabasa. Nababasa rin siya ng maraming tao. So, and another thing kasi, we need to advocate for media justice kasi, di ba, sometimes kasi other people is tinitake advantage nila yung paggamit ng mga media platform. Wherein, ginagamit nila ito in yung mga for their they are using it for their pleasure or something that will satisfy what they want in their life. And sometimes kasi is parang binababoy nila na yung paggamit ng media, wherein nagpo-post na lang sila ng kung ano-ano na maisipan nila. Kailangan natin i-promote or i-advocate yung media justice kasi nga po, media is created for information dissemination and at the same time, information to inform other people, to entertain, and to persuade other people. And hindi siya ginawa for our own pleasure or for our own satisfaction na ginagamit lang natin sa masama. It is okay if we are using those media platform in a good way. But if you use it in a bad way, syempre hindi na nakakatuwa at the same time nakakasama na hindi lang ikaw yung naapektuhan. All people na gumagamit ng social media, of course, maapektuhan din. Okay, next. So we are now done in the importance of media literacy, wherein we need to become media literate for our safety and protection, because like what I said earlier, those information that we are accepting or we are yung mga naririnig natin, napapakinggan, nakikita natin in every media platform are not true. We need to become media literate for us to distinguish what is valid and reliable information na ititake natin. Okay, now let's proceed to the 7 media literacy skills. Okay, first we have analysis, which is breaking down a message into a meaningful elements. Wherein, dito na pumapasok, syempre, from the word itself, analysis, we need to analyze those information. Okay? Hindi lang yung take tayo ng take. Kailangan nga, sabi nga kanina, kapag binabasa mo, kailangan may comprehension. Kailangan may understanding. So that is why, through analysis, we can, if we analyze that certain information, okay, we will now be able to break it down into meaningful elements or meaningful messages na mas maiintindihan natin. Okay? Kasi nga po, this analysis is based on our understanding and comprehension in the certain message. Okay, next. The second one is evaluate, wherein judging the value of an element, the judgment is made by the comparing a message element to some standard. Of course, kaya nga sabi ko kanina na kailangan natin evaluate, hindi lang basta take ka ng information. Kasi nga po, when you are evaluating, there is an standard that you need to follow. O kumbaga, kapag mag-grade ka ng student mo, syempre may pina-follow ka. You are following a certain rubric to grade your student. Hindi lang yung basta-basta ka lang magbibigay ng grade ng walang rubric, nang hindi mo alam kung ano nga ba yung mga ginawa nila, kung ano nga ba yung mga pinagawa mo. Kasi di ba, when you are grading or giving your students a mark or a grade, syempre, you have a rubrics. May criteria ka na sinusundan. Okay? Like here in media literacy, yung mga information that we are gathering, syempre, hindi lang take ng take. Kung ano lang yung nabasa mo dito, yun na yung i-take mo. You need also to have a backup information or some evidences that will support that information that we will going to take. Okay? Next. Okay? The third one is grouping, wherein determining which elements area alike in some way. Okay? Determining how a group of elements are different from other group of elements. O, kagaya nga yan. Siyempre, if we are media literate, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, and sinabi ng mga past reporter, is kailangan natin i-determine. Okay, we need to know how to classify those information that are reliable sa hindi. Okay? We need to, parang kumbaga, sasalain natin or sasalain natin yung mga those important information na kinakailangan natin. And those not important, syempre, mag-i-exit sila. Okay? And at the same time, okay, sabi kasi dyan, determining how a group of elements are different from other group of elements. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, we will going to sasalain, titimbangin natin kung ano nga ba yung mga importante kaysa sa hindi. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the fourth. Okay, we have the induction. Wherein, sinabi dyan, okay, induction, inferring a pattern across a small set of elements, then generalizing the pattern to all elements in the set. Ito yung pag sinabi natin induction, from simple to complex, okay? Or from specific to general. Okay? If we are media literate kasi, kailangan natin alamin, okay? Kasi may iba't iba tayong method on how we process those information. Yung iba, nag-i-start sila sa specific before they will go into the general. Or mag-uumpisa sila sa simple to papunta sa complex. So, or in short, they will going to take those information, they will gather information slowly, little by little, at the same time, hanggang sa maabot nila yung pinaka main point ng information na yun. Ito po yung sa induction, from simple to complex. Next one is the fifth one will be the deduction, wherein using general principles to explain particulars. So here in deduction, kung kanina sa induction, from simple to general. Now naman, we will going to start to general to simple. Here in explaining those information, in understanding and analyzing those information na kinakailangan natin. Sometimes kasi, di ba, sometimes yung ibang tao kasi nag-start sila sa general, papunta sa specific. Wherein, syempre, aalamin muna nila yung kung ano nga ba yung nangyari hanggang sa mapagtagpi-tagpi nila yung mga information that they gathered. Okay? Ito naman, deduction is from general to specific or from complex to simple information. Next is we have the sixth one, which is the synthesis, which is assembling elements into a new structure. Okay, dito na pumapasok yung constructing na sinasabi natin kanina pa. Wherein, tayo kasi, if we are already know, okay, what is important and what is not important. Kung alam na natin kung ano nga ba yung importante, kung alam na ba natin yung what is the reliable information in the media platform, okay, that we see, that we hear, okay, that we read in the different platforms, of course, we will now be able to create a new one. Okay? We will now be able to synthesize a new information na galing sa atin. So, meaning, okay, kumbaga ngayon in education, in our education right now is, kumbaga dati, nasa teacher learning pa tayo, wherein, passive pa tayo, wherein, take lang tayo ng information. However, ngayon, okay, we are now in the student center. Okay, student center, meaning, we are now working at our own pace. Tayo na yung nag-construct, tayo na yung nag-gather ng information, at the same time, tayo na gumagawa ng trabaho na ginagawa ng teacher dati. Okay? Now, the teacher is just a mere facilitator or i-guide lang tayo kung ano nga ba yung kailangan natin gawin. Okay, ito, okay, when we say synthesis, it's all about creating or constructing new one in our own. Okay, next, we have number 7, or the last parts of here is abstracting. Okay, when we say abstracting, it is all about creating a brief, clear, and accurate description capturing the essence of message in a smaller number of words than the message itself. So ito na, papasok na dito yung tinatawag nating paraphrasing. Kasi nga, di ba, yun na, na-take na natin lahat. We already now gain those information, those na kinakailangan natin. So dito, nag-assemble na tayo, nag-create na tayo. Dito naman, papasok na dito yung pagpaparaphrase na parang kagaya lang siya ng synthesis and abstracting kasi nga dito, more on mas clear na siya, okay, mas simple, at the same time, okay, mas nalaman na natin kung ano nga ba yung implication or ano nga ba yung mensahe ng messages that we take in social media or in every media platform. Okay, next, we are now done in those 7 elements. Now, let's proceed to the purpose of media literacy. So, ano nga ba yung mga purpose of media literacy in our life? Okay, first, we have, one purpose of media literacy is first, to raise the level of awareness of the different guesses taken on the messages transmitted by the media that we find in our life every day. So here, okay, kagaya lang siya nang diniscuss kanina ni Joby na kailangan natin na we need to become aware in our environment, especially in the media platform, okay? Because sabi ko nga kanina, nagkalat na kasi dyan yung mga fake news. And that is why, kailangan natin maging aware. We need to become media literate. Kasi nga po, this media literacy help us, okay, to raise our level of awareness towards something when it comes in gathering information and gathering, yung mga nakikita natin sa mga social media, yung mga napapanood natin with television, those information that we hear in radios and we read in the newspaper or those print media. Now, let's go to the second one. Okay, the first one is raising our level of awareness. And the second one is to help citizens to recognize how media filter their perception and conviction could popular culture and influence personal decision. Dito naman is tinutulungan tayo on how, okay, to recognize, okay, because those media platform kasi is, we are now, nandyan na kasi, okay, hindi lang kasi isang tao ang gumagamit. Millions of people or billions of people are using media platform. So that is why, okay, many people are using, so they have so many perception that already present in that media. And another thing is kasi, those media platform kasi is not filtered. Those perceptions, sabi nga, yung mga perception kasi natin is halo-halo na. So all we need to do, syempre, we need to accept, we need to respect their perception. Kasi nga po, we have an individual differences wherein kailangan natin i-respect and we need to accept it also. Okay, another thing is, ayun nga, hindi lang pumapasok yung mga conviction natin in our life, okay, yung mga popular culture, influence, personal decision. Also, okay, one of the purpose of media literacy kasi, di ba, help to recognize, okay, how media, okay, ito yung ma-recognize natin, how media filter our life, okay, or our perception, conviction, popular culture, and most especially is, yung media platform kasi is, isa siya sa mga naging dahilan ng pagbabago ng mga, okay, yung mga personal decision natin, di ba? Sometimes kasi, those personal decision kasi natin is, syempre, andyan na, naging na, ang dami ng mga pinopost din sa social media account. Syempre, kapag nabasa mo naman yun, if you read it, syempre, there is a part of you that are parang apektado ka, that you are, ang tawag na dito, yung apektado ka at the same time is damang-dama mo, okay? You feel it, that is why sometimes we change our decision. Kasi nga po, we also understand those possible consequences if we follow, if we ano tawag dito, kapag dinire-diretso natin yung decision natin, kailangan kasi muna natin i-consult. We need to think a million times before bago mag-desisyon. Kasi nga po, there is a various factor na kailangan natin i-consider. Hindi lang iisa. Okay? Next is we have to provide citizens with the capacity for critical analysis as well as creative problem-solving capacities, turning them into aware, productive consumer of information themselves. Okay, dito na pumapasok yung critical skills natin na critical skills that I already discussed to you earlier. Okay? Kasi nga dito, okay, if we are already a media literate, like like what I said earlier, if we are already a media literate, we can now distinguish those information easily. Okay? And at the same time, syempre, we can now easily solve those information that are not that we are facing. Kasi nga, di ba, media, okay? Media kasi is have a big impact sa atin na, especially that we are now using, especially that millions or billions of people are already using this media platform. And at the same time kasi, those information that we are reading is based on their experiences, through true life story, at nakakatch ng ating attention. That is why, di ba, okay, ang dami na dyan naglipay ng mga iba't ibang ideas, concepts, and other information that we take it. Okay? The last purpose of media literacy will be to provide access to communication in media with greater ease and with heightened interactivity. So, like what I said earlier, okay, media is used for communication, wherein there is a lot of social media platform nowadays that we are using for communication to have interaction to other people. Like for example, if you have something to say to your friends that are far from you, of course, you just going to use Messenger, it's either Skype, okay, to message your friend about the things na kinakailangan that you need to say to her, okay, without going to her face to face, and time consuming na din siya. At the same time, it is very okay, yun nga, time consuming. At the same time is maraming nasasayang na imbis na marami ka pang magagawa is maliliit na. Okay? Another thing is, okay, media kasi is used also in interactivity or interaction. Kasi nga, nandiyan na si television, radio, okay, dyan yung mga print media like newspaper, magazine, that we can easily get, and at the same time, we can easily know those information that are relevant, at the same time, important to our life. Okay? So those are the purpose of media literacy in our life. At the same time, if you are media literate, of course, kagaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, you are safe in those information that are very bad or those information that are not valid. At the same time, if you are media literate, of course, you have a strong security and protection about yourself. Kasi nga, alam mo na kung ano nga ba yung mga dapat at hindi dapat mong gawin in those social media platform or those media platform that we have. Okay? So those are the purposes of media literacy. So it raises our level of awareness. At the same time, we will be able to recognize how media filter our perception, our decision in life. At the same time, it also provides citizens, okay, the capacity in doing some critical thinking skill or in developing our task or our higher order thinking skills. And at the same time, it also those media literacy, of course, it provides us access in communication. Okay, so that's all. Let's go to our next topic, which is it will be discussed to you. It will going to discuss to you or delivered to you by Miss Mary Joy Bautista.
So let's proceed to our next topic, the media literacy process skills. Here are the access, analyze, evaluate, and create. Let's define first the access. First, access. Recognize and understand media. Kailangan nating malaman at intindihin yung media na kailangan natin intindihin ng mabuti para hindi tayo maguluhan. And second, locating media from a variety of sources. Kung hahanap tayo ng information to that topic na kailangan natin hanapan, kailangan hindi tayo mag-i-stick doon sa iisang sources. Kailangan natin na magkalap pa ng iba't ibang informasyon para hindi lang doon mag-i-stick doon sa isang sources. And third, select different types of info based on the task. Kailangan din natin i-select yung iba't ibang uri ng mga sources na kailangan natin gamitin. Dapat yung reliable at valid dun sa topic na ating gagawin. Next is second, analyze. Use prior knowledge to predict outcomes. In analyzing, kailangan natin gamitin yung bago nating kaalaman sa paggamit ng media literacy. Kailangan suriin natin ng mabuti yung gagawin natin para hindi siya, kailangan natin suriin ng mabuti para maging reliable and valid yung information na gagamitin natin dun sa topic. And second, interpret a message. Yun nga, kailangan sa paggamit ng media, kailangan literate tayo para mag-interpret doon sa message na ating gagawin. And use strategies to compare or contrast fact or opinion, cause or effect. Sa analyzing, kaya nag-a-analyze tayo dahil sinusuri natin yung isang topic para nagagamitan natin ng pagkukumpara or kinokontrast natin iyon. And kailangan wag tayo basta-basta maniwala doon sa iba't ibang information kasi maraming mga fake information na kumakalat. And the third, media literacy process is next slide. So, third, evaluate, appreciate, and interpreting messages. Yun na, through media literacy, kailangan natin i-appreciate yung mga messages na nakakalap natin. Pero yung iba, dapat natin i-santabi dahil hindi yun yung mga akma dun sa topic na gagawin mo kasi yun yung mga fake information. And second, evaluate the quality of a message. Yun na i-evaluate na natin yung halaga ng message dun sa topic na gagawin natin. And third, judge the value of a message. Yun, na huhusgahan na natin yung kahalagahan dahil nagagamit natin yung media, dahil literate na tayo sa media na gagawin. Dahil literate na tayo doon sa media. And fourth, respond to messages of different content. Yun, nagre-respond tayo dahil iniba natin diba yung information na gagawin natin doon sa topic. Yun, kailangan natin suriin mabuti. The fourth one is create. Make use of brainstorming, planning, composing, and revising process. Yun, through sa create, nagagamit natin yung brainstorming, planning, composing, and revising process through the people around us. Kasi nakaka-gain tayo ng information sa kanila. Kaya, and na hindi tayo nag-i-stick sa ating kaalaman, na natutulungan tayo dahil doon sa ibinibigay nilang information sa atin. And use language effectively. Yun, kakagawa tayo language. Sana, dapat gamitin natin yung mga language na akma dun sa gagawin natin. Kaya, dapat gamitin natin yung language na akma dun sa topic na gagawin natin. And create and select images to achieve various goals. Dito, for example, dun sa PowerPoint presentation mo, we are media literate kasi nakakakuha through the use of Google, we can research the images na dun sa topic na gagawin mo. Na nakakatulong yung image na nakuha mo dun sa Google para i-connect dun sa topic mo. And next, use technology to communicate and the construction of messages. For example, dito, yung through the use of Messenger, nakaka-construct tayo ng messages para iparating yung gusto nating sabihin dun sa kaibigan natin or sa mahal natin kung malayo man sila, na nakakagawa tayo na nakaka-communicate tayo through the use of Messenger kahit na malayo yung pagpaparating natin ng message. Next. So, next is challenges to media literacy education. Whereas we are struggling to distinguish truth from fabrication, the proliferation of information on the internet makes the development of a critical mind and of information-related competencies that much more crucial. Yan. Kaya ay nahihirapan tayo na malaman kung ano yung tama sa hindi. Dapat gamitin natin yung critical thinking natin. Huwag tayo basta-basta maniniwala dun sa information na nakalap natin. Kumalap tayo ng mas marami para reliable and valid yung information na gagawin natin. And para hindi tayo mahirapan na ma-distinguish yung truth sa fake news. Next. First of the challenges to media literacy education is the bias. Social media is not exempt from the need for media awareness. Yun nga, kailangan natin maging aware na gamitin yung social media kasi hindi yun exemption doon sa mga bad effect dahil doon sa mga fake news na kumakalat. Kaya maging aware tayo na gamitin ang media. Here are examples. The astroturfing is the deceptive practice of paying individuals in exchange for fake online reviews to manipulate user opinions and is particularly on social media. Yun. Binabayaran nila yung mga ibang tao para mag-review dun sa product na kahit na hindi maganda yung product, dahil sa nabayaran sila, nagiging na doon sa binayaran nilang tao, gagawa siya ng magandang review para mahikayat yung ibang tao na bilhin yun. For example, dun kapag nag-order ka sa Lazada or sa Shopee, dun naman sa review nila, yung maganda sa personal maganda sa picture yung product, pero sa personal hindi. May may mga tao na nahihikayat dahil sa magandang review dahil nabayaran nga sila, nagiging maganda yung review, kaya nahihikayat yung maraming tao na bumili dun sa product na yun. Kaya na ma-manipulate yung mga user dun sa product na yun. Next. The second is private life and etiquette. The second session focused on the relational aspects of media literacy, including cyberbullying, hypersexualization, and sexist representations within media. Dito napapasok yung kahit nasa private na ng buhay mo, nalalaman ng mga ibang tao dahil nakapasok ka na doon sa media literacy. Example dito yung cyberbullying na ginagamit nila yung social media para ibili yung kaluluwa nila or nabubuli sila through physical appearance dahil sa disability nila na through social media na di-discriminate sila dahil doon sa example na cyberbullying. And the hypersexualization, dito yung papasok yung body shaming or yung sexualization. Next. The third one is the omniscient internet. Protecting privacy online is a major issue in Web 2.0 platforms. Yun nga, kailangan natin protektahan yung privacy natin. Kapag nakapasok na kasi tayo dun sa media, lahat ng mga information information sa atin na nakarecord na dun sa media. Kailangan natin protektahan yung ating privacy. And as soon as we go online, our actions are recorded and traceable, which makes it essential to help students become aware of their use of technologies and of their digital footprint. Yun nga, kapag nakapasok na tayo dun sa social media sa media, yung lahat ng information natin is naka-record na doon. Lahat ng, kapag, for example, sa Google, search natin yung nickname and yung pangalan natin, lahat, kasi nandun na yung information na natitrace, naka-record na doon yung information naka-record na doon yung information sa atin. And, for example, dito yung sa scam. Yung na-scam yung tao dahil pumasok siya doon sa isang apps or lahat ng information na kapaloob sa kanya is na ibigay niya na tatawagan siya dahil doon sa ibinigay niyang information. Kaya naloloko sila dahil sa hindi sila literate doon sa media na ginagamit nila. Kaya kailangan natin maging aware na gamitin yung media para sa ikabubuti natin at para sa safety natin. That's all. Thank you.
That's all our report about media literacy. And always remember that
Only you can think for you.
don't let others think for you.
Understand the literal and implied messages in the world around you.
Ask questions and be critical of your ideas that don't fit your ideas about what is right.
B.
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 Be a media literate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.